Hello, creative ones. I am going to show you some junk journal kits that I have in my store that you might be interested in. They were primarily made for my new online class, French Bohemian Traveler's Junk Journals, but I have plenty more to offer, and I wanted to just break down what's in the kits. First of all, these kits aren't available anywhere else except in my store. There's several handmade components for each kit, and you'll get some kind of handmade, hand decorated, and copy stained altered file folder that I've signed. Each one of them is different depending on what I want to use, and they'll have different images, but if you see one that you want in particular, just let me know in the comment section when you place the order. But they're all basically with vintage images and vintage music papers, really nice trims and vintage trims and coffee dyed cheesecloths and lace. So there's a lot of work that goes into each one, and so that's just one component. And then in each envelope, this is where you can keep your ephemera when you're making your junk journals, is a textile kit, and I'm going to go over each one of those. They're basically, the premise of these kits is that they should be all in some type of bohemian neutral palette, so that you should be able to use any parts of these for any color journal that you have, unless it's super bright. If you're making a really bright journal, then these might not fit in with that. But let's just put these to the side. And they're all hand stamped, and they have vintage buttons on them, like real vintage buttons, mother of pearl buttons. The fiber kit is all the same, and I make these kits so that you can use every single part in your journal. They don't have staples in them. I do that on purpose so that you can literally use this part right here where it's hand stamped and says travel journal textiles. You can use that in your journal. Every kit comes with some antique, these are very old, over 75-year-old textiles from India, and I've cleaned them as much as I can. Most of them will have real shisha mirrors on them, which is an embroidery style made with real mirrors, and these are great to add as tabs in your journals. And then there's a nice mix of, this is a merino wool, very soft merino wool, and upholstery fabric. There is a Tim Holtz in there. Most of them anyway. Like I said, they will vary just slightly. Some vintage doily, some velvet, or maybe some silk, burlap, and then there's some hand-dyed lace in there. And all together, there's about 2 feet of hand-dyed lace, and then there's also some vintage lace in another part of the kit. So there's about 3 feet of lace. You get a mixture of beads and head pins and bowl pins and charms, and these cute little vials to go in your kit. And I go over how to make everything that you need to know in the class, but if you wanted to just use these on your own for your own junk journal, I'm sure you know what to do with it. There's also a vintage millinery pin in here, and everything is held together, like I said, so it just comes apart. So you have these little clothespins, and then these are just taped down with double stick tape, so you can literally just pull the fabric off. There's no staples in it, and this is pinned, but you can take that pin out. And then there's some really old buttons in here from Pakistan, and then a couple of coins. These are all going to be a little different. And then the paper pack comes really cutely packaged with some kind of washi tape on it. And you're going to be getting, I'm going to take apart one here. You're going to get 5 sheets of paper. 5 of them, I mean not 5, you're going to get 20 sheets of paper. 5 of them are hand dyed coffee paper here, and then underneath that is a template for a dress form, because we'll be doing something with that in the class. And then you get 8 images of my own antique postcards. This is from France. I believe most of these are from France. So these are from my personal stash. I used to collect antique postcards several years ago, so I have a nice stash of those. And then the other 15 sheets of paper are going to be a mishmash of like really, really old pieces. They're not copied. They're the real deal. So I'm just going to go through what's in here. But like I said, they are all going to be a little bit different, because once I rip through the pages of a book or a journal or a ledger, they're gone. That's it. This is a 1910 astrological book. This is from the turn of the century, a music sheet. This is a French English translation dictionary page, 2 pages of those. This is also from a page from a book that I got from France when I was there 2 summers ago. Some children's book pages. This is a really cool text that was written from, it looks like some kind of legal person, again from the turn of the century. These are the only 2 new pieces in here, some graph paper. This is an actual piece of ledger paper that's been folded, I think. Oh no, there's 2 of those in this one in particular. So those are the real deal as well, 2 of those. But like I said, you will get different ones. There's going to be a similar variety, and these are going to be old, but they might be a little different. Music paper. This is pretty darn cool. This was a recent find of mine. I found a really large book from the railroad from 1889, and you get a sheet of that in there, and this is some more old ledger paper with the original numbers on it. And then on top of that, there is also 4 types of glassine envelopes, glassine and paper envelopes. This one, I didn't put the rest of them in there, but you can see those will also be a mixture. So there might be a small one, a glassine envelope, a printed one like this black and craft paper one, and then another craft envelope. And you'll get original stamps that have been postmarked, 2 of them, and some more of the coffee dyed tape here. Coffee dyed lace. And in this package there is some annealed steel, because I show you how to make your own paper clips in the class. And there's also some really cool waxed cord in here to bind your book. There's about a yard of it, which is plenty to bind your book. So all of this gets packaged up really cute. I make it look like a little gift. And the fiber booklet packet goes in here as well. And so if you're interested in getting one of these, just let me know what your interest is. If you like these cute little girls that I have here, or some images of ballerinas. I also have some of birds. I don't list them on the site because it would be too much. I might do that, but just let me know what you're interested in. And if you want to learn how to make one of these altered file folders, I'll have a listing, a link up below, and you can go make your own if you want to. I'll show you how to make these on your own. One other thing I forgot to tell you is on each of these kits there will be a, where did it go? A handmade bead on each one. And they're attached to the top of the fiber kit. And each one will be completely different, and they'll be attached with a really cool old rusty pin that you can also use, a safety pin that you can use in your journal. And in regards to that, I also have a class on this. This will be available probably towards the end of April 2019, and there's 3 different beads I will be showing you how to make. It's one of my mini classes, so it's not going to be expensive. It's only going to be about 25 bucks. And I show you how to make these beads here. I show you how to make the fiber beads with the wrapping and the beading on them. Mine are a little bit different than what's out there. And then these ones, these are kind of fun and unusual. So I show you how to make 3 different styles of Bohemian beads that you can put on your junk journal.